It's morning now. You'd think the mayor was trying to start a mayor union, the way he talks about this. He can't make up his mind about how he feels. He said earlier in the interview that it's not about the money, and then he repeated that nice advice that his dad gave him. Public servants make less money. Full stop. The president, governors, mayors. All these positions have CEO aspects, and it is not reflected in their salaries, at least not in comparison to private industry counterparts. The mayor goes on to mention how much he has produced, and then he lists categories that are Mayor 101: infrastructure, roads, a walking track. But he doesn't mention the debt the city has taken on. The crux of the mayor's argument for the crazy raise is that town managers of smaller cities make more money than the mayor. And then the mayor loves to point to Cambridge, because that city has a highly paid town manager and then a lesser paid mayor. Do you know what else Cambridge has? Very little debt and a perfect credit rating from every ratings agency. All the accomplishments the mayor likes to mention in Quincy happened as our city spent money it doesn't have. One last thing. If you were at the city council meeting where this was discussed and voted on, you would have heard that this is not about the man, it's about the position.
That are not supporters not being in support of any raise. So I decided to put it in my own lens and really look at what the position I think should be valued at.
Experience, like responsibility, was much greater than what is before this body. But again, I just want to reiterate that this is about the position. And this is about...
It's not about the person in the office. It's about looking at the salary and thinking to myself, as we focus more on the process and the legacy we're leaving behind for process and not talk about the person, because at the end of the day, we're all going to be gone at some point.
The pragmatic term that I'm looking at is that the position itself calls for an adjustment. And I think today's number may not make sense. But in 10 years from now, I think...
But then the arguments that are made are about the accomplishments of the man. So if you believe that the mayor has done well, keep in mind that we have no idea if the next mayor will be as effective. He is saying pay the next mayor what I should have made, or he's saying he deserves a bonus.
What this looks like a little bit to me is a bonus.
Any approved pay rate?
There are not bonuses in government work. I'm not a resume snob. As far as I'm concerned, there is nothing stopping Mayor Koch from going on and becoming a town manager and making the salary he wants. But he keeps running for mayor here. He likes being mayor here. He wants to be our mayor. He wants the cachet of mayor where he answers to no one, but he wants to be paid like a city manager, a hired professional who must answer to elected leaders such as city or town councils. Finally, I want to address the closing of the mayor's interview, and I'm not going to have it read or show the text. It's sad and embarrassing for the city, like much of this whole debacle. The mayor interrupts himself in the beginning of this section to say, I don't mind this going on the record, because he wanted to be sure it was included. I have qualms with the Quincy Sun for allowing the mayor to identify a resident by name and location. It reminds me of the worst of our country's current politicians. It's basically doxing. The mayor put a citizen, a longtime resident, on blast because that person was protesting against the raises. This is a resident, mind you, a retired teacher and nurse, not a public figure. A resident that has stuck up for the mayor, even while criticizing the mayor. They always say, he's a good man, he's just wrong about these raises. So what am I talking about? The point the mayor was making was that after a natural disaster, the city and the mayor helped this person out. Basically, they did what they're supposed to do with the resources that we pay for. So the mayor feels that if the city provides good service to you, that you are in his debt, and you're not allowed to have an opinion counter to his. This is why some people were scared to sign our petitions, keep in mind. This is why we could not consider showing the signatures to anyone at City Hall. This Machiavellian crap is why you don't get too many city employees talking to anyone about what happens at City Hall. This kind of proves that the scuttlebutt we've always heard, that if you cross the mayor, he will come after you, is real. In local politics, protesters punch up. Elected officials have power. Their job is to tell protesters why they think they're wrong. Give the general public their side of the issue. And they get to do so from a bully pulpit. They are given long articles in the Quincy Sun to explain themselves, articles where the other side is not asked to comment. The mayor disrespects the office he holds by showing contempt towards residents who disagree with him, by assuming a resident who benefit from city services that their tax dollars went towards owes them unconditional devotion, and then dox them for having a different opinion. The mayor owes this resident an apology.